part of the Yoruba land, surrounded by thick forests and rivers that whispered secrets, there stood a village called Aje. For generations, people feared its night. They said spirits walked when the moon was full, and no one who entered the sacred grove ever returned the same. This is the story of Adenike, the young woman who dared to ask questions no one else would. Adenike was only 19, but she carried a spirit too curious for her own good. While other girls pounded yam or fetched water, she often wandered to the edge of the forest, listening to sounds no one else dared to hear. That evening, as the sun bled into the horizon, Adenike heard it, the faint rhythm of drums from deep within the forbidden grove. But no one played the talking drum at night, no one living at least. She told Yetunde, her closest friend, but Yetunde trembled. Adenike, Emma say, she whispered, do not speak of it. Baba Ifagbemi said the forest belongs to the ancestors after dark. But Adenike laughed lightly. How can drums harm me? If it is the ancestors, then let them show their faces. Little did she know, the spirit had already heard her challenge. That night the moon rose full and round. Adenike lay awake, the drums louder than before, as if calling her name. Her heart raced. She knew she would not be able to resist. Her mother muttered prayers in the next room, unaware her daughter's thoughts had already wandered beyond the walls of their home. Adenike rose quietly, wrapping her brown cloth tighter around her waist. She stepped outside, drawn by an unseen hand toward the forbidden grove. The village was asleep save for one pair of eyes, Baba Ifagbemi's. The elder sat on his stool, pipe in hand, watching Adenik with a frown deeper than the wrinkles on his face. He called out in a low, gravelly voice, Adenike Omomi, do not follow those drums. They do not call you for dance. They call you for blood. But Adenike only bowed lightly, her youthful defiance hiding in her smile. Baba, I will be careful, she said before vanishing into the shadows of the trees. The forest swallowed Adenike whole. The further she walked, the louder the drums became, echoing like a heartbeat beneath the soil. She thought of Yetunde's warnings, of Baba Ifagbemi's voice. But curiosity burned brighter than fear. With each step, the forest grew colder. Then she saw them, footprints in the soil, fresh, but no human had walked into this forest in years. She followed them, heart pounding. The drums grew sharper, accompanied by whispers in a tongue she could not understand. Suddenly, the forest opened into a small clearing. At the center stood a tall iroko tree, roots twisted like coiled serpents. Upon its bark, strange chalk symbols glowed. A calabash lay at the foot of the tree, filled with dark liquid. The air around it throbbed with power, as though alive. As Adenike leaned closer, the drums ceased. The silence was heavier than stone. Then the calabash moved. A voice, cold and ancient, whispered her name. Adenike, Adenike. She stumbled back, her wrapper catching on a root. Her heart hammered in her chest, but her eyes refused to look away. Suddenly, a figure appeared, a woman, tall and skeletal, skin chalk white, eyes glowing red, wearing ancient beads and torn wrappers. The priestess of the dead, Adenike gasped, crawling backward. The woman smiled, teeth sharp as knives. So, another child who does not listen. The ghost priestess lifted the calabash and poured the black liquid onto the ground. It sizzled, and from it rose shadows shaped like men. They moved in rhythm, swaying like dancers. Their steps matched the drums, now thundering again, but no hand struck them. The priestess spoke. The village has forgotten us. For their silence, their children will pay unless you carry our message. Adenike shook her head violently. No, leave me. But the spirits laughed, their laughter like dry leaves scratching stone. The priestess stretched her hand. From the Iroko tree, a single leaf dropped into Adenike's palm. It burned cold, like ice made of fire. Her vision blurred. She saw flashes, children crying, villagers burning offerings, blood spilled on the ground. Then everything went dark. When she awoke, she was lying at the edge of the forest. Yetunde's tear-streaked face hovered above her. Adenike, Adenike, Yetunde cried. You were gone all night. The elders are looking for you. Adenike tried to speak, but her voice cracked. Her palm still burned where the leaf had touched, a faint glowing mark etched into her skin. The villagers gathered. Baba Ifagbemi pushed through, staff in hand, his voice trembling as he saw the mark. Brisa, preserve us. She has been chosen. Mothers pulled their children back. Men whispered among themselves. Fear spread through the crowd like wildfire. Yetunde knelt beside her, weeping. Why didn't you listen? She whispered. But Adenike had no answer. Baba Ifagbemi raised his staff. She must be taken to Iya Orisa. Only the priestess can tell if she is cursed or chosen. That afternoon, they led Adenike through the village toward the shrine of Iya Orisa, the oldest priestess still living. The shrine was dark, filled with the smell of burning herbs. Cowrie shells and carved idols lined the walls. At its center stood Iya Orisa, tall and silent. She looked at Adenike's palm, and her eyes widened. For the first time in years, the priestess trembled. The spirits have returned, Iya Orisa whispered, and they have chosen you as their messenger. The villagers gasped in unison. Some fell to the ground in fear. Others fled the shrine, unwilling to hear more. Adenike's life was no longer her own. She had opened the door to the forgotten, and the spirits would not rest until their message was heard.